Hello everyone, this is FantasyEsque and welcome back to the Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salazar Coven. We are picking up at the Autumn Caravan in Selva Dorada with our coven. So not everyone is attending with us. We have the youngsters, the Dravagers and the Dragon Twins. They've been left at Castle Aphrodite, so they're kind of in charge of making sure that everything stays okay, while these guys, Ciri, Sophia, all the older members of the court, including the queen, and then the princesses, they are going on the Autumn Caravan. So sometimes the Autumn Caravan is kind of a way to get away from the capital and relax. Other times it is more part of, a military patrol, like using the excuse of going to the borders of the empire, relaxing a bit, but then also reinforcing your borders, right? So that's what this is more in line with, given the time that the ladies are in. We have a war with the visitants, so obviously making sure that your borders and everything are tight, they're all good, under control, nothing iffy is happening. That's more in line with the thinking of this trip. So I think for the queen and older members of the court, bringing the princesses is an important thing because they are getting really, really close to challenging the queen. Now, some of you were saying, I think in the previous episode, that you thought the princess had to challenge the champion before they could challenge the queen. And the way it works, we did kind of do that. So the way it works is that once the princess, like the heiress, has a certain amount of vampiric power, usually, like all of the powers, I think there's like 4, 3... There's a bunch of powers now, like 9 or something. There's a bunch of powers that I like them to have, like the vampiric strength, and then the like strength of the moon or the night. I can't remember what the names are, but there are certain powers I like them, and then the vampiric energy one. There's certain ones I like them to have, and once they have all those powers, which, you know, by the time they get them all, they should be a master rank. The heiress can then start sparring, like vampiric sparring with the champion, and they have to win a spar against the champion to then be qualified to challenge the queen. And once they lose challenging the queen, like if they fight the queen and they lose in that challenge, then the chance goes to their younger sister, and then the cycle kind of just continues. So if your sister loses, it comes back to Eden. So that is the way it works. And we did get Eden to spar with the champion in the previous episode, I'm fairly sure, and she won, like in the first go. So she really doesn't need more training or sparring with the champion. She's ready. But we are holding off until Guinevere is also prepared for the reasons I explained. Like, I don't want to have to go back and be like, I still have to train up Guinevere, so I don't know how long that's going to take. I would much rather both of them get trained before we start this challenging thing, so whenever we do eventually challenge, we can get all of that done, probably in the same episode. So yeah, that is quite close, but we have some other things going on as well. Now, like I said, that point is getting close where these ladies are going to be able to challenge their mother for the throne, and so there, I think, is starting to be a bit of friction in the coven, in the court, because certain ladies are starting to maybe take sides of the princesses. So I'm kind of curious to see how others feel about, like, which princess they support in this whole thing. I mean, everyone knows the heiress is the one who is going to get trained, and by vampiric law, she's the one that everyone should want to be the queen, right? She's the one that everyone looks to for their future. But there's also other feelings people might have about who is more appropriate and, you know, who they would rather. So I want to check the relationship panels in this episode for the ladies that are here and see who's picking which side. And we already know some of them, because in the movie, we saw that Sophia was at the bar here, and she was saying that, you know, typically in the Autumn Caravan, they would feel safe if Lady Sphera, the champion, whoever the champion is, when they are present, because the champion's going to guard them against, like, outside dangers. But right now, there's a different danger that you can't really guard against, and that's internal strife, right? So they're starting to notice certain things with the different princesses, which is making the different ladies align with them in different ways. So Saphira, she was kind of having a good time, and she said, I'm not going to let anyone ruin the day for me, not even Lady Sophia. And then she was just reflecting on the fact that Sophia is accusing her of picking sides in this, you know, fight for the throne with the princesses. And she was being accused of siding or favoring Princess Guinevere. But then, and I think Saphira was quite offended by that, because that's kind of a serious thing, especially when you're training up the heiress, and, you know, Saphira used to be in charge of the heiress, then you shouldn't really be picking sides. Everyone kind of expects you to help the heiress along, right? Unless the heiress loses against the queen, then it's okay to, like, the heiress changes, then you always side with the heiress. It's just the expected thing. But she's being accused by Sophia of not doing that, so she is quite offended by that. But then she thought, well, what's bad about that? Would that be so bad a thing if I supported Guinevere instead of Eden? And then she decided to catch up with Guinevere, who was sitting with Aphrodite, and then Yuki, of course. They were here discussing whatever it was they were discussing. And Guinevere was quite adamant that patrolling is not going to keep them safe for very long. They need to exterminate the visitant pests before they spread. And Saphira, I think, agrees with that. So she kind of said to Yuki that, Princess Guinevere has a point. And Yuki was quick to jump in and say that, well, Princess Eden would think differently. She would have a different opinion about this, right? Eden would emphasize on defense and protecting the castle. And Guinevere found that absolutely hilarious. She said, don't make me laugh, Lady Yuki, defense. So she's obviously not taking that, she doesn't feel too seriously about that, because in her mind, that is not what they should be doing. They should be attacking. So the princesses have very different kind of opinions about certain things, or at least the ladies have already formed their own mind on how the princesses would act, right? And Princess Eden, she wasn't with her mother. She wasn't with the crowd there. She came to the bar to sit beside Sophia, and Sophia kind of gave her a warning. She said, beware of your sister, Princess Eden. She has bigger ambitions than you. So Eden, she definitely doesn't have that big of an ambition. Like I said, she thinks about the present, not really the future. And Sophia noticed that, and she warned the princess. Who knows if the princess is going to take her warning seriously or not, but that's what Sophia went ahead and did. Now, obviously, by what happened in the movie, we know that Sophia is definitely supporting Eden in this fight for the throne, and Saphira is supporting... Where is she? Where did Saphira go? Oh, she's here. She's supporting Princess Guinevere. I feel like Saphira is definitely more, as a champion especially, she's more of an action sort of person, and she likes the way Guinevere thinks. She likes that Guinevere, she's a maker, and I'm going to actually interpret that as a decision maker. So she likes people who are decisive and make decisions, whereas Eden, not really that kind of person. But also, because Saphira is a goofball and so is Guinevere, I think they connect because they find humor over the same things. Like defense, I think Saphira found that a little bit funny, that Yuki was going on about defense in the situation they're in, and Guinevere openly laughed at that. So there is something that they feel connected over. Now, even though Sophia, even though she's mean, she's quite confident in herself, she's outgoing, and I think she is very much on Eden's side, again, because Eden... Yes, she's childish and she's squeamish, but she is open-minded. So I think that being a non-vampire, Sophia kind of likes that. Sophia likes that Eden is open-minded, and she probably feels safer aligning with Eden than with Guinevere. Maybe she feels threatened by Guinevere. So, she's friends with both of them, really. But I think in terms of long-term, what could happen in the future, Sophia knows, what is the age right now? She's an adult, right? She's an adult. She's got a while to go before she's an elder, but Sophia knows that the current court of vampires, they are going to die at the beginning of the next queen's reign. So they won't be around to live through that queen's reign. However, Sophia, she as an elder... who knows for how many days as an adult, but as an elder, definitely she'll be serving the new queen. So she wants a queen that, is going to be not necessarily of benefit to her, but is going to be good to her, right? And I think she would much rather throw in her bet with Eden than with Guinevere. So we have that going. And now there was a bit of an incident before we came to the Autumn Caravan. And I'm calling it an incident because I feel like it is something that will help people, or definitely in the vampiric court is something that has been helping people make up their mind about certain things. So Eden, how, look, she's on the floor, she's being childish, she's not wanting to interact with others or take things seriously. She's playing with this doll that she found here, right? She found a Miskin doll and now she's playing with this, really disregarding her image as an heiress right now. She's acting like a child. So in the castle before we left, obviously Guinevere, she's been quite serious about her studies because she knows her sister is ready now. She's always been competitive with Eden, I feel, but secretly, not really openly. But now that she knows Eden is ready, she's openly trying to study a lot more and get herself to a level where she will be ready in case her sister loses, because that's what she's prepared for. She's prepared for Eden to lose, right? She's got big ambitions, just like Sophia said. So she's been doing that quite a bit, and people have been noticing that. Whereas Eden, before they came, there was an incident where Eden went into the birth chamber and then she pulled out all these dolls, and then she was sitting there just playing with these dolls, right? I mean, people would think that now that she has gotten like the powers that she needs, she is a master vampire. So the powers that I was talking about, I like them to have the occult master, the vampiric might, and the master of darkness, all three of these, and then I get them to spar with the champion, and if they win, then they can challenge the queen for the crown. So that's the way I do things. Now, people, and then she she sparred with the champion, and that's considered like training for the actual battle with the queen. So she sparred with the champion, she won in her first go, so that's all kind of she needed, and people thought, well, she's so talented, she might start putting her mind more towards, the kind of queen she wants to be, what she plans to do in the future. Maybe she's going to start helping the queen with more court matters, making more decisions, letting us know her opinions a bit more, getting more involved, because for all intents and purposes, she is ready, right? But that's not what happened. She pulled out all these dolls, and then, because there's no one pushing her anymore to go and train, and she was just playing with them. And then Guinevere, I think Saphira and all the youngsters, they went into the birth chamber to watch the heiress play with her dolls, right? And I think that kind of lowered people's opinion of Eden just a little bit, or that gave Guinevere the confidence to start putting her own opinions out more openly, because she can see that her sister is incompetent. She can see it, and everyone else saw it. So Guinevere feels she feels more like it's her right to try and be the one who is in charge. Like, she's taking the lead because the heiress doesn't seem as though she's that interested in it, or at least, she's kind of making a mockery of her title at this point. So that was the incident that happened before, and Siri's also been invited because I wanted the ladies to spend time with her while they're on patrol. So typically what we like to say is, these guys, they are patrolling the Empire, doing the Autumn Caravan, and Salvadorada is like one of those stops, or it's like right at the edge of the Empire, and when they make that stop, they're staying here at this inn, this tavern that we've seen many times before. So yeah, that's what's happening with these ladies. And so as a result of the thing between Sophia and Saphira, what's going on with you? She's upset by someone. Who are you upset by? Sophia. Okay. So Eden feels upset by Sophia, and I'll get to that in a bit. But Saphira, let's see. She also, she is hurt by Sophia, and she has a grudge against Sophia. And this is all what I said before, Sophia accusing Saphira of taking sides, and Saphira not being happy with the fact that, people, I feel as though, do take sides whenever there's multiple princesses, but they don't like being called out for it, right? Whereas Sophia, she's called out Saphira for it, and she did not like it. And that's why they have this. Now, we know that in the movie, Sophia warned Eden that you have to be careful of your sister, because she's got bigger ambitions than you. And I think because of that, Eden kind of felt hurt by Sophia's words. One, that she's saying that her sister is trying to outdo her, Eden, we know, has always been good to her sister, and whenever Guinevere has kind of, I feel, exploded on her or anything like that, had a fight with her, she's always forgiven her sister, but she's never thought, and she's kind of cared for her, right? I mean, they haven't been the closest, but she's never thought ill of Guinevere, and she's never really thought that Guinevere is going to try and take her position. She's never been afraid of that. Mainly because she's never paid attention to it, but I think she felt hurt by the fact that Sophia is saying that about Guinevere, but also that Eden doesn't have ambitions. I mean, I don't feel like she does, and she probably knows that, but she probably didn't like hearing that again because of that childish trait, right? She's focusing on the wrong things, so I'm assuming that's what's going on here. And look, she does feel close with Guinevere, so she probably doesn't like hearing stuff like that about Guinevere and her. So, interesting. But anyways, I wanted to look through people's relationship panels to see how, like, who they're siding with. I want to know who they are siding with. And for the youngsters, like the Dravagers and the Dragons, I feel like this is their first kind of big responsibility as immortals, is while these guys are away. Let's put that away. While these guys are away, is taking care of the castle and defending the castle until they come back. So yeah, they've got those 4 immortals doing that, and this is the first time they've kind of been on their own as adults without adult supervision. So there we go. But Saphira we know who she's siding with. Now Aphrodite, she, in the previous episode's movie, we saw kind of wrote off Guinevere as not being impressive, and she was very much on board with Eden as heiress, and she made it quite clear that everyone's expectations is on Eden. Nobody's really thinking much about Guinevere, and that Guinevere, doesn't really have the talent that Eden does. So I wonder if that's changed since that incident at the birth chamber with Eden playing dolls. You know what? I think she's got a bit more with a relationship with Guinevere than with Eden. I think that might have changed slightly. Yeah, I mean, she was very adamantly on Eden's side in the previous episode, and I feel like she had big expectations of Eden, because Eden, was ready to spar with the champion, and then Eden won. So I feel like she would have felt really, really proud of Eden. And because her expectations were so high, I feel like she would have been more disappointed when she found out about Eden playing with dolls, and that all the youngsters, these are people that are going to serve in her court. How are they going to respect their future queen if they've seen their queen doing childish things like this, right? So I think Aphrodite was quite disappointed by that. And she didn't say anything to Guinevere when, in this episode in the movie, when Guinevere was telling her about having to basically attack the visitants, and she was kind of hearing everyone's opinions. But I feel like the queen listening to Guinevere talk, and then, with Eden, they could kind of see Eden again playing with dolls over here. I think Aphrodite probably feels that she's been giving all her support to Eden this whole time, but maybe she was giving her support to the wrong daughter. Maybe Guinevere is the one who is meant to succeed her. And I think Aphrodite, she's starting to feel that if Eden does succeed, then the empire might fall under her. So I think she's kind of throwing her lot behind Guinevere now. I feel it's like a drastic change, but again, things have happened. I feel like, and she's like a, hold on a second. What are her traits? Where are her traits? She's an insider, right? So Aphrodite, she kind of listens to people's counsel, and she likes people who make decisions because she's not a decision maker herself. And the fact that Guinevere is making certain decisions about what should be done, right? She's giving her own opinions on what should be done. I think the queen likes that because it makes her feel relieved a lot more than Eden, who doesn't really know what she's doing at all. So that's interesting. But I think, guys, the queen wants Guinevere to win. But she knows, as the queen, she can't take sides, so she's not going to say anything. You know, and like Eden is the heiress, so really she should be supporting Eden, but she's not going to support either one. Because, again, she doesn't want to destroy anyone's morale. But I feel as though Aphrodite is in support of Guinevere. She might not have been before, but she is definitely in support of Guinevere now. What about Galaxia? So we've got like 2 for Guinevere, 1 for Eden. Let's see. Okay, this is, I feel like, more difficult. Like, I cannot tell. I cannot tell who Galaxia is in support of. Kind of seems as though she's got like an equal relationship with both of them. I think Galaxia is on the fence. I don't think she has an opinion really on which princess becomes the queen, and I think she's choosing, well, at least for now, she's choosing not to take sides. I think she's at peace with Eden if Eden is the future queen, again, because the open-mindedness, but then she sees a lot of their ancestors in Guinevere, so that would be good too. But, you know, Galaxia, she does, as a priestess, like, is really into tradition and whatnot. So I feel as though she kind of also feels as though Eden as the firstborn is probably the appropriate one to become queen. So I don't know. She's not taking sides. She's not taking any sides, and that is completely fine. Like, she hasn't even tried to get too close with either one, unlike the others. So I suppose that is good in a way. So interesting. Poor Eden. Poor Eden. She's got like no one on her side except for Sophia, and Sophia's not even a vampire. Oh my goodness, guys. And then Lady Yuki, she actually spoke up for Eden when Guinevere and the Queen were talking in the movie, so I thought she would have been on Eden's side. But what is this? Look at her relationship with Eden, and then look at how much she has with Guinevere. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it seems as though Yuki is on Guinevere's side as well. So now that's like 3 Sims. 3 Sims who support Guinevere in her claim for the throne. Very interesting. Now, she's the scholar, right? So I think, yeah, okay, she's squeamish, so she's very much like Eden in that she prefers not to get her hands dirty. She doesn't really like violence. She probably would be more on like a defensive side, I feel. But yeah, I feel like as the scholar, she would try and keep the peace, right? And therefore, I think because people were speaking up, or at least Saphira was speaking up for Guinevere, she felt as though someone had to speak up for the heiress, right? Or someone had to consider what the heiress's thought on this would be, which is why she was kind of bringing up Eden's, like what Eden would do instead of what Guinevere was suggesting. I feel like that's what was happening here. But at the same time, because Yuki is squeamish, I think she has the foresight to know that, you know, her as a scholar having this kind of personality trait, that's probably okay, but it's not something you would want in a future Queen of the Vampires, because a lot of their culture is based on fighting and how they're going to defend themselves if they don't fight, right? So I feel as though, even though Yuki is trying to keep the peace, and at times when required she does speak up for Eden, I think really she believes as though Guinevere is the more appropriate heiress. She's the one that should be queen. She's the one who's gonna keep the culture alive, right? She's more Salazar than Eden is. So that's kind of interesting. Very unexpected, but really interesting. So there's like 3 members of the court on Guinevere's side. Sophia is the only one on Eden's side, and Galaxia is just not even picking a side. Wow. Wow. Obviously, the opinions of the youngsters don't really matter. They're going to serve either queen when that happens. But I really wanted to know what the older Sims thought about this. Now, I kind of want to know Siri's opinion, although I don't know if I will. And obviously, we can't check Siri's relationship panel. What we can do is check the princess's relationship panels to see their relationship with Siri. So, Eden... Okay, her relationship with Siri is very low. Oh, wow! Okay, I can kind of see just a little bit of a difference. Like, you look here. Eden has less relationship with Siri than Guinevere does. Like, and it's a very minor change, but it's noticeable. I can notice that. So it looks as though Siri is also on Guinevere's side. She supports Guinevere in the claim for the throne. So I think these ladies, they're kind of all hoping that Eden is going to lose, and that Guinevere will have a chance to prove herself and become queen. Because they all feel as though Guinevere and Siri, she is not really close with them anymore, but she raised these girls when they were young, and she's probably, been keeping tabs on them in the castle. So I think from what she sees, and what she knows about them from, the younger days, she definitely is in support of Guinevere as well. Guinevere seems like the stronger one to her than anything else. So that's kind of interesting. You'd think that maybe she would side with Eden because Eden is more childlike, which, Siri, she was brood mother, so she raised children as part of her role. And also she's open-minded, so maybe, if Eden was queen, then a situation with Siri and Emmanuel wouldn't really happen again. And the fact that Guinevere, I feel as though Siri, I'm not sure if she would know about how Guinevere treated her daughters. But, she obviously loves her daughters, but Guinevere was terrible to both Lagatha and Meredith. But again, Siri was outside in Forgotten Hollow, and I feel like Lagatha is quite mature, and she looked after her sister quite a bit, and I don't know if Lagatha and Meredith would want their mother to feel bad by telling her that, we're being treated terribly in the castle, we're being terrorized by Guinevere, and we're looked down on. People, it's not like how it was in Forgotten Hollow. People don't treat us well. People don't like us. I don't know if they would tell that to their mother, knowing that it would hurt Siri's feelings. So maybe Siri, and I feel like all the times they have met the girls, it's either been in a celebration or for their birthdays, or the girls have just been wanting to know if their mother's okay. But I don't think they would have complained about how bad their life was or their childhood was to Siri. Because they would know that, Siri had hopes for them and Siri really adored them. So I don't think they'd want to hurt their mother's feelings like that. Because it's not as though Siri would be able to do anything living away from the castle. So I think Siri is kind of supporting Guinevere because she doesn't really know any of that. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe, I think, I was going to say, you'd think that she would side with someone like Eden, who's childlike and open-minded, because then situation with the love story of Siri and Emmanuel wouldn't happen. Emmanuel was cruel to Siri towards the end and their daughters, but Siri is still in love with him. But they were kind of driven apart. So that wouldn't happen, theoretically, if Eden, someone like Eden was queen. But at the same time, given that the fact that they're in the war, in a war right now, I feel as though maybe Siri feels as though Guinevere seems like the more stronger, decisive queen, and in the future, if something like this happened again, then her daughters would be safe in Guinevere's reign, because Guinevere would make the necessary decisions to make them safe. So I feel like she's thinking about the present rather than the past, in terms of things that are related to her. Emmanuel's not here anymore, but her daughters are. So rather than thinking about her love story, she's thinking about safety from a potential war, and Guinevere seems more the person for that. So my goodness, that's 4 Sims in favor of Guinevere. So guys, seems as though I would throw my lot behind Eden, simply because she's the heiress. I would throw my lot behind Eden, but I do feel like I wouldn't be sad if Guinevere became queen. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be sad, but I kind of want to see, I do hope Eden wins. I do hope Eden wins. I feel like she has untapped, I don't want to send you home. I feel like she's got untapped potential, you know? Yeah, untapped potential. So who knows what kind of queen. I mean, she doesn't like violence, so maybe she's gonna be a peaceful queen. Maybe she's gonna be a peaceful queen. Does that mean she's gonna run the empire to the ground? I don't know. But she might be more peaceful. She's childish, so maybe she'll be kind of more nurturing or connected with her children. So yeah, those are all things that we don't see right now, but maybe we will in the future, right? But I do worry if Eden becomes queen. This episode has turned into a discussion, but you know what? Most episodes are. I am a bit worried, like, if Eden becomes queen, I don't feel like she'd be able to control Guinevere. I don't feel like she'd be able to control Elaine. Whereas if Guinevere becomes queen, I feel like she'll be able to control, like, the other members of the court. And she would have kind of, like, authority over them. So, that's how I feel. That is indeed how I feel about this whole situation. Okay, how's everyone going for drinks? You know what? Oh my goodness, your needs terrible. Do you have... Oh, thank goodness. Well, you have the potion of plentiful needs, so you can drink that. But how are the vampires are okay. The vampires are okay. You know what? I feel like Guinevere is going to take a drink from someone. This lady is right here. And I feel like she's gonna compel for a drink. Because Guinevere, she hunts for the sake of hunting. I mean, she's evil. I feel like the evil Sims, they should kind of hunt whenever they want to. I feel like they would be more likely to hunt when they're hungry than non-evil Sims. You know what? There are these ladies here. Let's go hunting. Let's go hunting. I don't think Guinevere cares much for who sees or any of that. Oh, nope. The prey is very difficult over here. They're all kind of running away. Come on, let's go grab her. I don't know if we can, but let's try and grab her. Let's get ourselves a drink. Yep, okay, there we go. She finally found someone. Jeez. Found someone. Yep. Let's get our drink. There we go. There we go. Right, so she managed to get that done. Yep, see, Sophia doesn't approve of this at all. She does not really approve. But, does it matter? Guinevere doesn't really care. Guinevere does not care at all. Now, if Elaine was here, Elaine would probably join her in this drinking, but, you know, she's not. She's back home. Let's get you, hiding your dark form. Let's get switched up. But yeah, there we go. That definitely made her happy. And the others, I think, can hold on for a little bit. I'm actually going to get Sophia to come out here and brew a potion of plentiful needs. And then we can give everyone something to drink. So we'll go do that. You know what? Is there a shower somewhere here or a bath we could take? There is a shower upstairs. Okay, let's take a shower upstairs. I'm just gonna take a nice steamy shower upstairs. Look at this random citizen carrying a scythe. Why not? And then some of you were saying in a previous episode that you feel as though elflings would be above humans in the order of things. Obviously vampires at the top, but you said maybe elflings are higher than humans. Like they're not right at the bottom, so maybe vampires would treat them slightly differently. And actually, I've always thought elflings and humans, they are the base races, so they are like right at the bottom of the food chain. The vampires don't care about either of them, they treat them the same as far as the vampires are concerned. The elflings and humans, they don't have anything special about them. They are a base race, right? As far as the vampires are concerned. The vampires are at the top, and then between the base races and the vampires are the supernatural races. So you have the mermaids and the alchemists. I feel as though for the vampires, it's kind of like vampires, then probably hybrids. So vampires and then vampire hybrids. And then we have mermaids probably, then the witches or the spellcasters, and then we have the elflings and humans. So that's what I'm kind of thinking, because there was a point where they had this alliance of sorts with the mermaid Amazon kingdom, which they haven't really been in contact for long. The mermaids have sealed themselves off, because I stopped the series, but the mermaids have kind of sealed themselves off in their islands, so the ladies, they haven't really kept tabs with them or anything like that. But if they didn't think the mermaids were, close to their standing, I don't think they'd want an alliance with them, but they did, so that's why we kind of had that. But yeah, and werewolves currently not in the picture, because I don't have the werewolf pack. In the future, who knows? But for now, we don't have werewolves in the vampire world currently. The Vampire Amazon world, they don't exist. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking of in terms of order of the races. In case you guys were wondering, these are just some comments that I remember hearing about. So I figured I would just quickly address them to clarify a few things. Right, I'm curious to see if, oh wait, the potion? Okay, potion has been made. Before anyone steals it, let's collect it up. Let's go do that before someone steals our potions. We don't want them to steal our potions. Nope, thank you. Right, grab those, and then I want to see if there's any whims for each other that I actually can do something about, which don't seem like I will have. Okay, she wants to share astronomy knowledge, which I have done, but we'll try and do that again. And yeah, you want to cloud gaze with Lagatha, but not happening. Now look at this. She is insulting Yuki. You know what? I feel like Sophia is just upset at the other vampiresses because, obviously she being in the background probably hears their opinions a bit more, or somehow information comes to her because nobody really pays her much attention. And she knows, she has a sense of where everyone's at, and she kind of knows that she's the only one on Eden's side. So I think she is quite upset at the others because she is not happy that they're siding with the second princess. She feels as though they should be giving Eden a fair chance, but they're not. But even Eden's upset with Sophia because Eden doesn't want to hear that. See, with Guinevere, if someone told Guinevere, that her sister was trying to outdo her, being a threat to her, Guinevere would take that seriously, and she would become wary, right? Whereas Eden is not like that. Eden doesn't want to hear that kind of talk. I don't think she has the level of maturity to deal with that, and she doesn't want to, really. Which is kind of sad. But, okay guys, I think I am going to wrap up here. This was our Autumn Caravan episode. Now, I know we kind of stuck around here and didn't really do much, but that is kind of typically what we do in the Autumn Caravan. We take a day or two to just spend here at the plaza. But I really wanted to take this time to see where everyone was at in terms of their support for the princesses. and this was kind of like a bit of a lull in the war before we go back, because I feel like things from the next episode are definitely going to start picking up. We're going to start having things happen that were building up till this point, in terms of just internally with the, succession thing that's happening, the succession crisis, and then also with the war regarding the visitants. So anyways, guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.